As a local resident and member of the IFMA Denver chapter for over 22 years, it's a delight to welcome you to my hometown. Thank you. I'd like to ask the Colorado members of the IFMA Denver, Rocky Mountain, and Pike Peak chapters to please stand and be recognized for their part in co-hosting IFMA's flagship event. Are you out there? Where's my peeps? I know a few of you registered. There we go, thank you. I'd also like to welcome a special guest, Dave Hewitt. Dave is a past chair of BOMA and a fellow Colorado resident. We've shared the stages before, so thank you, Dave. As Dave can attest, here in Denver, sunshine is abundant. So is the beer. We have over 150 breweries, so you can't swing your arm without hitting one. We also have the nation's largest city park system, 196 miles of on-street bike lanes, and we're the fourth most sustainable destination in the world and the most climate resilient city in the U.S. Not bad. Denver has a thriving commitment to connect climate action, clean energy, clean tech, and sustainability to the economic growth and social equity. As a community, Denver is prioritizing actions that have risen in importance to facility management. Identified by IFMA's Emerging Topics Working Group, these high-impact areas will expand the knowledge and skill requirements within our core competencies. We've shared these topics with you over the past year in our CONNECTEDFM podcast and blog, in FMJ's magazine, and several forward-looking white papers and research reports. Many of this week's education sessions are labeled with one or more of the emerging topics. In fact, 45% of them touch on these topics. Launching this week is IFMA's white paper presenting a foundation for discussion of key issues, trends, and drivers transforming the FM industry. Available for download on IFMA.org today, I believe. The paper titled Evolution is Never Finished will help you begin preparing for those short, medium, and long-term impacts of PropTech and AI, climate change, circular economy, ESG reporting, and workplace wellness and well-being. Viewing these as independent areas requiring the absorption of new information, assimilation of new skills, and adoption of new processes can be staggering. But if you see how these areas connect, how they're intertwined, and how one goes hand in hand with another, it's far more logical, sensible, and possible. The emerging topics represent the next steps in FM's evolutionary process. PropTech, or more generally, workplace technology and data analytics, is transforming buildings from inanimate objects to interconnected, interactive, and engaging experiences for those who use them. FM should expect to manage an increasing number of systems and platforms and must be able to make sense and use the massive volume of data being generated. Digital transformation is the foundation for developing solutions and for other immediate challenges, such as strengthening climate resiliency. The impact of climate change and related climate risks is an overarching driver for the adoption of circular economy principles and the ESG reporting. We wouldn't be seeing heightened interest from these frameworks from investors, businesses, and governments without it. FM professionals recognize the impacts of extreme weather events in our facilities. We're the ones who must deal with weather-related disruptions, deteriorating building components, and buckling infrastructure. A recent headline in The Guardian read, "There's no such thing as freak weather anymore." Changing how we design, build, and operate our properties, assessing risks, reducing energy and water consumption, and making sure we put our resources to best use is about due diligence, efficiency, and performance, not activism. It's about mindful stewardship. And that loops into the fifth emerging topic. Workplace wellness is taking a prominent and long overdue place in business policies. Awareness of these effects on physical wellness and mental well-being have prompted facility managers to add skills related to experience management to their lexicon. We've long labeled interpersonal communications as a soft skill, which gives the impression it has less value than technical skills or business acumen. But leaders who exhibit authenticity, transparency, and empathy often make the difference between a team's success or failure. With mental health issues at an all-time high, ensuring people feel safe, comfortable, and valued can make a life-changing or perhaps life-saving difference. We're still in the early stages of comprehending the scope and scale of these monumental trends. But in the meantime, FMs must prepare to play a larger role in organizational strategy, presenting solutions based on trustworthy data, embracing circular economy principles, and creating spaces that accommodate a range of human needs. Failure to accept and adapt to these inescapably changing built environment risks our relevance in a competitive job market. What new graduates learned in school has a shorter shelf life in today's fast-paced environment. Consequently, upskilling is becoming permanently etched into our professional lives. The good news is, IFMA has our backs. We've introduced new industry-leading online and in-person training. We've built strategic partnerships with other well-respected organizations such as ASHRAE, ISSA, BIFMA, and OSCAR. These partnerships not only provide you with specialized training in all areas that fall under the FM umbrella, but they also ensure that facility operations perspective is incorporated into new industry strategies and practices. We're keeping the profession well-informed and well-prepared through groundbreaking research on digital transformation, cybersecurity, and the diversity, equity, and inclusion imperative. IFMA credentials have been revised over time to reflect these increasing knowledge requirements. Last year's update to the IFMA Sustainability Facility Professional Credential is a perfect example of incorporating new topics such as the energy purchasing and consumption, ESG and circular economy to maintain the credential's relevance. Earlier this year, IFMA concluded a survey focused on the practice of facility management, asking what it means to work as an FM in today's built environment. IFMA is leveraging these results to build a dynamic competency model, which will serve as a more responsive roadmap to support new resources and training. Close to 100 individuals volunteered to work on this project, including an advisory group that will periodically review and revise the model, adding new areas of practice or omitting areas that have become obsolete. This will ensure that what you learn or source from IFMA is of maximum benefit to you now and throughout the life of your career. As more skills and knowledge are weaved into our core competencies, some of us may wonder if we have the capacity to absorb it all. Facility management has never before experienced evolutionary change at this velocity. We can trace the practice of FM back to the pyramid builders of ancient Egypt, but then not much progress was made for the next 2,500 years. Now, progress happens before you can finish your breakfast, as you were doing out here in the hall. You can't go a day without seeing a significant tech innovation in the news. My first career was in information technology, and I count myself as one of the many folks who stumbled into facility management and found a home. I was one of the accidental profession stories. What intrigues me most, though, about emerging technology is the data. Most organizations don't understand that it's not about the software tools, it's about the quality of the data. These tools can't take bad data and produce valid business intelligence. You have to have complete, accurate, and trustworthy data, and you must understand how to interpret that data to transform it into business insights. If you don't have good data, it's garbage in, garbage out. This analogy applies to artificial intelligence as well. And what FMs need to learn is how to differentiate the hype from the reality. Generative AI technologies are analyzing data sources created by humans, so it's guaranteed mistakes were made. But we can't be everything everywhere all at once. AI and machine learning enabled systems can help monitor and detect problems in areas outside of our eyes and ears. Again, data is the key. Feeding bad data to an AI mechanism can deliver bad responses. And in our industry, where lives and assets are at stake, basing decisions on incorrect data is far more worrisome than whether AI will take our jobs. One of our colleagues recently said, AI won't take your job, but somebody using AI will. AI appears intelligent, but it isn't. AI cannot think creatively, handle complex problem solving, or empathize. And with the range of environmental, social, cultural, economic, and world issue businesses that we're trying to keep up with, these humanistic qualities and skills will remain in demand. Like it or not, digital transformation is upon us. So keep in mind, the broad introduction of desktop computers into the workplace just over 40 years ago helped set the evolutionary course of facility management and subsequently the dawn of IFMA. Today, technology is a crucial tool in our efforts to smarten up our buildings while driving down their negative carbon impacts. Advancing our facilities, our careers, and the wider built environment demands our eyes wide open to a new data-driven, people-centric, climate and resource-aware era of FM. As it did over 40 years ago, IFMA will be our guide. From education and credentials to research and content, we're keeping you in step with the industry's evolution. And our members, a global contingent now 24,000 strong, are the first in the FM community to access the latest forecasts and insights of what it's like and what's vital to the industry. In addition to serving as your source for sustainability information and education, IFMA also strives to set an example in our own operations. We're increasingly raising the sustainability bar at our live events. This week, you'll notice more digital signage and recycled materials, and fewer printed and single-use materials. We've partnered with the Colorado Convention Center on waste diversion and introduced a new sustainable exhibitor program. In collaboration with carbonfund.org, we're providing attendees the opportunity to offset their travel-related carbon footprint by making a $20 donation on registration. If you've not done so already, please visit the registration central and help us further reduce our carbon footprint for this event. When I joined IFMA in the last century, I had no vision of myself standing up on this stage. I sat in this audience in my first world workplace, staring up at that IFMA chair, and I was admiring but not aspiring. What it took to get to that stage didn't enter my mind. My future with IFMA unfolded thanks to the camaraderie I found in my chapter and the conversations among peers from around the world. The more people I talked to and learned from, the more inspired and involved I became. One or more of you today, staring up at me, will be standing here in the future. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, because I've proven that, or the most energetic, or the most ambition. You just need to find your passion and follow it. What inspires you? Where do you want to make a difference, and what do you want to be your legacy? Each of you will plot your own path towards achievements that reflect your passions, your expertise, and your goals. Your career will evolve in ways you never expected or planned for, and just as the facilities you manage and the businesses you support will perpetually shift and transform, our industry will continue to advance and transform. But you have at your disposal the means to stay in step with these changes. It's called lifelong learning. And it's one of the most significant areas of support IFMA provides, feeding your commitment to constantly improve yourself, because becoming more proficient as an FM will open many doors and quite possibly the curtain that leads to this stage. One thing's for sure, your professional achievements, your volunteer service, and your continued drive towards excellence will never go unnoticed. Recognition from the field, its practitioners, and high achievers has always been a priority since IFMA's beginning. IFMA understood early on the importance of celebrating the contributions of those who brought FM into the spotlight and helped establish IFMA as a leading association on the global stage. Recognizing IFMA fellows, scholarship students, and their sponsors and awards of excellence winners is and always will be a central part of our annual conference. These are the people who elevated us to where we are today and will take us even greater heights into the future. IFMA understood the importance of validating the proficiency and professionalism of those in an industry that was still striving for recognition. In 1993, IFMA conducted its first Certified Facility Manager exam, covering, at the time, 8 core competencies. The names listed on the screen proved themselves FM masters that year. In celebration of FM's 30-year anniversary, I'd like to ask any original FM CFMs in the audience to please stand and accept our applause. Those of us, in fact, if you're a current or retired CFM, please stand. All right. Those of us who have earned the Pinnacle FM certification can attest to elevated career opportunities. Because IFMA CFM isn't just recognized in our field, it's regarded and in many cases demanded by employers worldwide. After 3 decades, the CFM is still the industry standard in facility management certification.